For my topic, I chose human trafficking of women in our country today. About 50,000 women are sex trafficked each year. This incredibly high rate has increased majorly since prostitution became more popular. Because of these high rates, more men view women as less valuable and more of an item. For example, they can go somewhere, pay money, receive what they want, and leave, without even realizing that that is not an item to be used however you want, but that is a human. Women across the world are being treated poorly, resulting in low self-esteem and major depression. When we look at the health view, we see that all women and girls trafficked reported of mental health disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder, which is basically a disorder in your brain that causes you pain and you are basically scarred from the traumatic events that have occurred. Most women experienced diseases and pain from the sexual abuse. All women were forced to work in unsafe and uncleanly places as not just an occasional thing, but as a daily occurrence. They were also violently threatened if they tried to leave, such as they would threaten their families, whether that be their children, their parents, their siblings, and they would also threaten the person themselves. And if that didn't work, or if they were an illegal immigrant, they would threaten to tell the government if they were an illegal immigrant so that they would be kicked out of the country. The conditions were completely horrible, and when they were physically ill, they were forced to continue doing their so-called work. And when menstruating, they were also forced to continue, but they had to try and hide it so that their client didn't become angry. And if their client found out, they were physically or sexually abused, and this physical and sexual abuse was permitted. If a woman became pregnant, she was forced to have an abortion, or she must face the consequences of their threats. Many of these women have had so many abortions that their body becomes ill because it cannot take the huge stress that an abortion puts on your body. Many times these women have been tricked into coming into America. So, for instance, a person would say, "Oh, I'll get you into America for free as an illegal immigrant, and you can work as," the most common one that they would say is, can work as a waitress. And then they would take them, and obviously that wasn't their true intention, so they would become a slave to sex trafficking. And these ladies were completely isolated from their family, their friends, and anyone else. And then they were also paid extremely little, if anything at all. Since this has become such a huge crime, and common one too, more people besides just the police are being trained. I believe that more police officers around sketchy areas would cut down on human sex trafficking, these areas being things such as bars, bad parts of town, clubs, just watching to see if there's any kind of sketchy or unusual activity maybe, if there's like checking up on girls that may be under the influence of drugs, alcohol, whatever, if they see a man going with them, just to make sure that they are in a safe situation and that they are going to be okay. I also believe that having more lighted streets and alleys would also help cut this down because it would be in the open, and having more video cameras would also be a plus. I think that enforcing an extremely lengthy prison term and debt to pay for anyone found guilty of this crime would also help cut down on this crime because it is something extremely serious, and it would show that America takes it extremely serious. With more trained people, the rate of human sex trafficking can decrease, and I believe a vital part would be raising funds and awareness to help cut down on this so they can save up items for these people to have a fresh start. And also, it could help provide guidance for mental counseling and also guidance counseling, because these women have nothing and have been left with nothing and are hurting. And it does not just affect them physically, but it does affect them mentally as well. Thank you for listening.